Hello everyone, welcome to my last video for the 2025 year. This is my tier list over basically the books I've read throughout this year, and I did collect like my manga ones because I shouldn't really count them as like individuals because I'd be here forever. And so yeah, here we go. And again, if you look at the ratings, I have like recommended, lots of fun, enjoyed, not my favorite, not again probably. And so my thoughts may have changed throughout the year, but it's just the top of my head how I feel when I look at the cover and go, what do I think this book's going to be? And so yeah, hopefully you enjoy. Let's see what we do. Okay. So the first one we have right here is Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I mean I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was like my favorite. And so I don't know. For me, I know it was like my first mystery book I read. But like in my video, I wasn't like a super fan of just the pacing and like the red herrings and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that's normal in mysteries, but I just didn't really super vibe with it. So I think I'll put it in not my fave. So not my favorite one. My next one is the Robert Jordan's Crown of Swords. It's in the Wheel of Time series. And past couple books, I'm struggling to read through them. Like, I still like the characters enough to keep on going, but I would probably put this one as not again. Probably, like I have to. I mean, I'll continue reading the series, but there was some things I felt like we just took forever in from the top of my head, and I felt like we really didn't get much done in this story. I feel like you could literally skip it, and then my cat's in the way. Hello, cat. Hello, Sofrina. Anyway, next is Redwall. This is the very first Redwall. This is like a middle grade fantasy book with animals by Brian Jakes, and so I thought it was good for like middle school, but wasn't really my cup of tea because of course I'm an adult reading it. So I don't know if I'll read it again, but I do think middle school kids could read it. It's a good like introductory to fantasy, very bare bones kind of plot thread with fantasy. You know, good's good, bad's bad, etc. Next is A Court of Thorns and Roses. That was my most recent video. I mean, I enjoyed the book. I think I'll put it there. I felt like it was a very simplistic kind of fantasy story. Like, the only times I really enjoyed it was when the suspense was built up and those chapter 26, like I said in my video, with Ryson and the fight in the end. Again, I don't read the spicy scenes. I skip that part. I don't really think it adds that much to the story. I mainly go for like the story itself. But I'd say I enjoyed it, and I have heard her other works are better. So hopefully, when I continue the series, which I enjoyed the book enough to continue the series, that it gets better. Next is a Mossflower. This is the second Redwall book. I actually liked it in some parts more than the first book and some parts less. I did like how the map told us where we're going to go with our characters. Again, it was a very simplistic fantasy story. It's written for middle grade, but really wasn't my kind of like, oh my gosh, this is a great, like it struck with me, but it's unfair because it's middle grade, but that's just how I feel. Next we got our first like manga series. I read like the first 9 volumes, I think it was, of Frieren Journeys Beyond End. And their anime is out, the first season. The season 2 comes out in 2026. I actually really enjoyed the manga because I liked the show enough. I watched the show first to go, I want to get the manga. So I read further in the manga past season 1. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. I did like the story and the characters are fun. So I would say it was a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. Now, this next one I read in the summer. It was recommended to me by a friend of mine about like being a leader and how to run a program with my job, and it was called The Energy Bus. And I did enjoy it. Again, it's my first like really like inspirational or kind of story to get you thinking differently and how to be a leader. So I did enjoy it. Nothing else to compare it to, but it was a quick, easy read. Did not take me long, but I did like it. My next one is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Joe Abercrombie, his first book I read of his, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I can definitely see myself reading it again. It was fun. I do recommend you read it. It was very good. It's a dark fantasy. It's not as dark as a Game of Thrones, but it's dark in its own way. But I thought the characters were great, the world was being built great, the suspense was great, the action was great, and they leave questions for more, and I really did like that. Now you got the classic, The Hobbit. I did reread this one. I thought it was lots of fun. Last time I read it was in middle school. I thought it was very good. Grandfather to fantasy. It's written by J.R.R. Tolkien, so I thought it was very good. I do recommend to read it, but I didn't put it in my top as oh my gosh, this is the best of the best. I didn't think so, but I thought it was a good, fun read. Next is a Game of Thrones, and I will probably make people mad. I did not care much for the first book, A Game of Thrones, by George R.R. Martin. I felt like it was kind of a drag for me to read through it, and I'm trying to remember top of my head what were the things, because this was back in the start of the year. It might have been the third, maybe March, not quite sure, but it was kind of I gotta get through this. But I liked some elements, I like Jon Snow. I felt bad when a character who I thought was trying to do good would die, and all the bad guys are bad. I'm oh my gosh, so we'll see where this goes. But that's just how that book was. Hopefully it gets better. It is on my TBR cart for the next book, so I'm eager to see how that plays out. I feel like my theories, each book revolves around one of the House family members. It's the center character, because we revolved around Jon Snow and his family for this book. So I don't know. Next is one of the other mangas I combined with Seven Deadly Sins. I remember watching this in my undergrad, and I was I'll read some of it, and I like it. And it's definitely I would not say not for kids, but I did enjoy the fantasy and magic and the fighting, and some of the characters were funny. So I would say I enjoyed it, but I liked Freerun more at this time. And so I think I read the first 6 volumes of this. Next is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was very good. It almost made me cry. I felt a tear inside near the end. It was so good. She's like I mentioned in my video, she labels the Queen of Fantasy. I thought she did a very good job. I've only read this book, so I'm eager to see the rest of the series. I highly recommend it. Very good book. Next is Brandon Sanderson's Sunlit Man. I enjoyed it. It was lots of fun. I actually put it in lots of fun. I did like it. It's one of his standalones from his secret projects. I would say read it too, but it didn't tug at my strings to go, this is 5-star amazing. It was not, but I did enjoy it. Next was Sanderson's, not his conclusion to Stormlight, but his conclusion to the first half of Stormlight, Wind and Truth. This came out near the end of last year, but it took me a bit to finish it because it's such a big book. I think it's 1,400 or 1,500 pages. It's massive. It's on my shelf behind me. I actually was not a fan of this one, and it's funny because he's my favorite author, and there was just elements in it that I just did not like. And again, I'm trying to pull back in my brain from months and months ago, but I just know that I was not a fan of certain character decisions and in the direction it was going. But I really did not, I was not really happy where it went, I want to say. Now, the last one I got for you is Yumi, a Nightmare Painter. I feel like I mentioned this a lot this year for 2025. It's one of the books that actually made me cry. I've only cried 3 times reading a book, and this is one of them from this book, and it is a standalone. I mentioned in my video, you can read it by itself, but you would appreciate it more if you read his other Cosmere works, but you can definitely read it without reading anything else, and I really did like the story. I liked it better than Sunlit Man, and I do recommend reading it. And it's kind of funny looking at the tier list here that I put 3 in each, but I guess that's just how it is. But yeah, so that was my ratings for my 2025 books. I'm really eager to see how 2026 is. Let me know your thoughts on the list, and what do you think you would have put them in, or maybe there's something I missed, or maybe you're just gonna send me keep reading. It does get better, and so I'll be looking forward to that. My TBR cart, I was looking at it the other day, and it looks like most of my 2026 is already set, unless I just read a lot of it. And I'm watching my recorder time because I might stop because I'm using Google. So we'll see how this goes. All right, there you go. I had to fix it. I've never used this before, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's what I got for my 2025. Eager for 2026. So yeah, hopefully this is a good end of this year, and hopefully a good start for the next one. Hope you have a great start of your year. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.